Hello and welcome to the 21 Days Face Your Fears online challenge. I am Bristena, transformation facilitator, energy therapist and writer, and my mission is to help people heal their past in order to be able to live the life of their bliss. I'm super excited to be your host on your journey of personal growth to fearlessness and empowerment through the power of community. Today I have a very special guest. Her name is Miranda Casiano. How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm very good, thank you. Miranda is a certified holistic health coach who coaches women to get off the crazy yo-yo diet roller coaster forever, eating whole, nutrient-dense foods. This principle of bad injury, she was for 5 months. Since she couldn't get out of bed, she had to find foods that were easy to make, like Greek yogurt, protein shakes, and 5-minute oatmeal. By the time she fully recovered, she had lost 30 pounds, and 9 months later, her total weight loss was 70 pounds. 2.5 years later, she has not only regained the weight, she has not regained the weight or had any symptoms of bipolar disorder anymore. She wants to help women be fearless and reclaim their health through the power of eating whole, nutrient-dense foods. We don't need the diet industry. When we feed our bodies high quality food, we will lose weight effortlessly and permanently. What a wonderful story, Miranda. Thank you for
Oh,
joining us on our Fearlessness Challenge.
thank you for having me.
Alright, so let's get started with the power question, which is what was the biggest fear that you ever overcame and how did you do it?
My biggest fear was related to my weight loss because on my bipolar medications, I was just, no matter how I ate, I was eating salad, drinking water, the whole calorie restriction. I just kept gaining and gaining and gaining. But then, blessing in disguise, my accident came and I started eating simpler foods like you described, the Greek yogurt, the oatmeal, that had all of the macronutrients in it. And in the macronutrients, there were micronutrients that were re-nourishing my body so that I had the nutrition, so that my body could heal itself and release the excess weight.
Wonderful. Okay, so do you have any advice for people who are encountering health issues and are fearful about how they're able to overcome them and how to get back onto the recovery road?
I think the biggest thing is just being willing to forgive yourself because
Mm,
I think when you're in recovery, or even when you're not trying to recover, we have a tendency to be extremely hard on ourselves. I know when I was trying to diet and I would have a little snack that wasn't allowed, I would beat myself up for days because I was like, "Oh, you're such a failure. Why did you
yeah,
do that? What's
yeah,
wrong with you?" But then when I'm like, "Okay, I'm human. I don't have to be perfect," and just worked what I liked into it and allowed myself to have maybe a day or two, it became much easier to stick with my meal plan, and then the success became effortless. So it's
mm,
really all about forgiving yourself and not punishing yourself, loving yourself enough to know that change is going to take time, and you didn't build your habits that are holding you back overnight, so they're not going to change overnight.
absolutely. I totally agree with that. We've been holding on to certain patterns, and it's not gonna take only 1 week or 1 month to change them. And while we're on the recovery process, we need to be gentle and patient with ourselves and also forgiving. So, how would you suggest someone who's trying to forgive themselves but they don't know how to do that? How would you go about that?
I think the biggest thing for me is I remembered a quote from Ambrose Redmoon about courage is not the absence of fear, but rather the judgment that something is more important.
Mm,
So when you feel afraid, you just have to keep thinking of what's going to continue to keep what's going to keep happening, keep going down the path you're already on, and what could be better if you make small changes. It doesn't have to be like people think that they have to be grand life changes that are like rearranging your life, you know what I mean?
yeah.
But they don't have to be. But if you make the small changes, just think about what could be so much better and focus on that.
And let's say when you have zero motivation and you just are in that really low frame of mind, maybe even depressed or no energy at all. And the easiest thing is to go and grab something that is not very healthy. It's some fast food, even though you know 100% that you need to be doing to be looking after your body and eating nutritiously and healthily. So what would you do in that depression low mood when you the only thing you want to do is have that pack of crisps or that bar of chocolate?
For the long haul, I say just to let yourself have it because I believe it's bad to disacknowledge, maybe not disacknowledge, but ignore feelings because we're human and we all go through cycles. Because if you punish yourself for feeling bad, you're just going to feel worse and
Yeah,
worse and worse.
yeah, yeah.
So just acknowledge that, yeah, today is an off day. It kind of sucks. And then if you still want to buy the fast food, I say go for it, but like make an effort to drink extra water when you're back in your house or something like that to make sure it gets rinsed out of your body. Again, it all goes back to forgiveness and acknowledging that we're humans and things aren't going to be perfect 100% of the time. We just have to work with what's coming at us at that moment.
Yeah, absolutely, I agree. And what we talked about so far made me think there is a great relationship between self forgiveness and self love with our own image of ourselves. Do you have anything to say about that? How our self image depends on how much we love ourselves?
Oh yeah, they are absolutely 100% connected. I mean, even this morning when I was looking in my mirror, I was like, my eyebrows are off today, but then I was like, wait a minute. I have eyebrows. I take the time to take care of them because I when I wasn't eating poorly, they would thin out and I would lose them. But I would like immediately remind myself that I have been taking care of myself and that they're growing back and soon that I don't have to worry about being scared about how bad my eyebrows are. So it's all about letting you feel the emotion rather than suppressing it, just acknowledge it and then immediately state a positive aspect about yourself so you don't get too bogged down in the negativity.
Absolutely, because we sometimes just um, it's difficult to get out of the negative feedback, the negative loop that we address to ourselves. But you made a good point. When we come up with a positive affirmation or appreciation, it balances it out, and you no longer identify yourself with either the bad or the good, because we have all of us inside of us the potential for good and for bad. And when we take a step back and realize we are holding all of them, and they don't define us anymore, that's a very liberating place to be in. Would you agree?
Absolutely.
Okay, so let's talk about strategies when we are dealing with fears. How do you help people release, overcome, or face the fears relating to their health or
Oh, sorry.
their weight issues, or maybe from your personal experience, bipolar disorder, for example?
Um, and kind of to risk being repetitive again. It's all about forgiveness.
Well, yeah, that's a
Um,
good point. Yeah.
yeah, like I can't stress that enough. Like things are. It's all about knowing the bigger picture and acknowledging that there are a wheel of emotion and that we can't prevent bad things from happening. We just need to acknowledge it and try to find at least one little way to make it somewhat better. Find a little silver lining in a dark cloud.
Mm. Okay, so do you have any experiences with clients that you think are worth mentioning in this context?
Yes, actually, I used to be. Well, I'm going to school to get my MBA, so I do tutoring on the side as well. And I had a friend who came to me for tutoring, and she became a client because she told me about her Lyme disease was getting out of control.
Okay.
So and she was a home health aide at the time, meaning she would carry elderly patients to the bathroom, to their rooms, and everything that goes along with being a home health aide. So she was gaining weight. Her Lyme disease was getting out of control, and she wanted to fix that. So rather than focusing on what was going on with her Lyme disease, I just showed her easier ways to enjoy the food she already ate, but added certain things like she likes macaroni and cheese and she likes mashed potatoes, but put spices and pepper in there, or garlic, not spices, garlic and pepper, so it tastes better and you get a little bit of nutrients from the spices. And we did that over time with different meals. And about 5 months in, she lost about 15 pounds and her Lyme disease was back under control.
Oh wow, that's amazing. And what were the main factors that motivated that generated this big shift, in your opinion?
I think just her openness to trying new things
Yeah.
and appreciating the fact that she doesn't have to give up the food she loves. Like with the diet roller coaster and the products like the Atkins South Beach, you're forced to buy branded products that have ingredients that aren't really good for you. So you have to revamp your life. But with my approach, you can keep eating the things you love to eat, but just make one or two healthy additions, and soon that ball will be rolling, and you'll just make healthier and healthier choices. They'll become second nature.
Yeah, I agree with that, and it goes with all kinds of changes. You don't have to go um, all or nothing, or just aim so high that you are going to fail. You just take baby steps, slowly,
Mm-hmm.
slowly pushing ourselves out of the comfort zone, and then change gradually happens, and
Yeah.
is very even welcomed by our bodies and anchored slowly, rather than fast and leading to breakdown.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like
Yeah,
the fast usually isn't sustainable. And
it's not
again,
sustainable.
that's what the roller coaster is. You go up and down, you lose the weight, but you gain back more. You lose it, gain back more. And I want to help women lose it forever, like I have.
Wonderful. That's very inspiring. Whenever I've noticed generally in coaches or healers or therapists, many of them, hey, they've healed themselves and then they want to bring this healing into the world with them. So I see this is happening with you as well.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm really curious about your approach. Again, do you have like some sort of strategy or program that you take someone that comes to you as a client that you like to
Um,
share with us?
I am developing a 6 month program where it's intensive coaching for people who really want to reclaim their health through the power of whole nutrient dense food. And it's based in forgiveness and using your strengths and weaknesses to your advantage. Like
Hmm.
I will sit down with you for 75 minutes every 2 weeks to talk about how your life is going, because that can impact your eating much more than the actual food you're eating. Because again, we mentioned earlier depression. If you don't acknowledge the depression and keep trying to say, what's wrong with me? Why can't I beat this? It's just going to create a vicious cycle and you're going to keep spiraling downward. So we work to acknowledge what's going on in your life and then we focus on the food. Because once you arrange your life so that it's full of as much positivity as possible, because again, you can't completely eliminate the negatives, once you have as much positivity as possible, the food just begins to sort itself out.
Okay. That's an interesting approach, and I'm really curious to see how it unfolds for you and your clients. And how can people reach you if they would like to contact you?
They can reach me through my website, which is www.mirandacasiano.com, and I am also on Twitter. My handle is at Miranda_Casiano, and Facebook, www.facebook.com/Healthy Miranda. That's my Facebook page.
Okay. While we're going towards the end of the interview, is there anything else you'd like to share with us on the topic of facing your fears? Any final thoughts?
My final thought is again, just be forgiving of yourself and don't, like, I know it's easy to fall into the trap of saying, oh, what's wrong with you? But just be like, just say, I made this small change and acknowledge that you made the change rather than say, I couldn't stick with my diet perfect.
Hmm.
Focus on the positive and you'll see results. It's not a matter of if, but when, if you focus on the positive.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. Thank you very much for that,
No,
Miranda. It's been a
you're
pleasure
so
to talk
welcome.
to you.
Yeah, same to you.
Awesome. Thank you for joining us again, and thank you everybody for watching today's interview. I hope you were inspired and that you start implementing some of the ideas we discussed in your daily lives. If you like this interview, please share it on your social media. Let your friends know that you're participating at this amazing online challenge for fearless warriors. Join my YouTube channel called Journey to Bliss and sign up to my to the link below to get your free Bliss Blueprint containing the 3 stages of radical transformation from within. I hope you enjoyed this and see you next time. Bye bye!
Bye.